Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rise Up. My name is Alia Halal.
Good morning. Welcome to Rise Up. I'm Irfan Alamgir.
And we are here with Hadil Al-Khuli, who's going to be giving us some updates on what's been happening around the world regarding our believers and the human rights aspect of it. So thank you for joining us, Hadil.
Thank you, Alia. Thank you, Dr. Irfan.
Human rights with Hadil. Can't wait.
Thank you so much.
And there's some big news today.
There is big news, actually. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, which is the agency in the United States that reports directly to the Congress, that gives a recommendation on international religious freedom to the President, to the Congress, and drafts up recommendations to protect freedom of religion and belief. They have just yesterday issued their report for 2025. And in that report, they basically look at all the different countries, what's the state of religious freedom, who's persecuted, what are the violations, which religious minorities are suffering from religious persecution and why. And the report came out yesterday, and the Ahmadi religion of peace and light is mentioned there 5 times.
Oh.
It's mentioned in the different countries. Malaysia were mentioned there. Azerbaijan were mentioned there. Were mentioned in Algeria. And what's actually really, really incredible that compared to last year, so we were also on the report last year, and we were on a segment together actually when we were talking about that. So here we are again, and we spoke last time about the report for 2024. And if you look at this year's report, you're seeing that were mentioned much more compared to last year's report. That's one, because of the increased persecution, obviously, compared to last year. So one aspect of it is that there have been many more cases compared to last year, which is unfortunate, of course. But on the other hand, the other aspect of it also shows that there is a bigger also awareness of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light in such high level of governments around the world, who are now keen to include that in their international reporting. So this is really the way to look at it, what that means, the significance of being mentioned in that report. One is obviously it being the number one source of international religious freedom from a government level now. So we've talked about several mentioning and statements from NGOs or non-governmental organizations, national, regional, and international. But this is different. This is now states that are speaking out, that are documenting, and that are taking interest in highlighting the persecution of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light on such a big state level in the United States. So that's pretty big.
Huge. So this is just indicating the growth of the religion and also the awareness of those who are against the religion. So now we've moved from on a national level in Morocco, at least, where we've reached the very highest echelons of human rights, to now going into the international sphere, where we've had mentioned before, but this time it's been 5 separate occasions that we've been named according to the country in which the crimes against the people are taking place, the human rights violations.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So how it works is basically, and I can talk a little bit about what that report means and what's their mandate. But they basically look at different countries, and those countries that have like the highest record of religious persecution are put on a so-called watch list. So then they are recommended by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom to be put on that watch list, and then to advise the Congress on specific policies with that country in regards to, so they're basically advocating for the groups that are mentioned in the report. So it really is a very, very big deal. And maybe I can read to you a little bit quickly from their report what USERF is and why are they doing this report.
Absolutely.
So in the report, in the introduction, they're saying that the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998, as amended by the Frank R. Wolf International Religious Freedom Act of 2016, requires USERF too. So now that means that USERF exists because of the International Religious Freedom Act. Okay. So it's comes into existence by law. Right? So it says what are they recommended to, or what is their job? To make publicly available, to the extent practicable, lists of persons it determines are imprisoned or detained, have disappeared, been placed under house arrest, been tortured, or subjected to forced renunciation of faith for their religious activity or religious freedom advocacy by the government of a foreign country that the Commission recommends for designation as a country of particular concern. So that means these countries now where they document religious freedom, religious persecution becomes a country of particular concern.
Okay.
All right.
Like a hotspot that's been highlighted. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So then it says, then it puts in the report, it says which are the religions that they looked at. All right. So they're saying, this is our report, this is our mandate by law, this is what we're supposed to do in that report, and these are the religions that we looked at. And later we can pull out the picture, or
yeah, we can actually put it on the screen. I think we have an image of the report itself.
Yeah. So here you see, so this is what I just read, as you see the introduction, and it says here in italics, so this is their mandate by the International Religious Freedom Act. And then in that picture, which is the really, really cool part here, where they're saying religions or beliefs included in data set. So that table there.
Ah, there we can see it highlighted
and
right there.
And then you can see
yellow.
Number 2, the Ahmadi religion of peace and light.
Amazing.
Right there, number 2, as a recognized religion that they particularly, specifically look at to see how are their members enjoying their freedom of religion and belief in these different countries? What are their, how are their human rights violated because of their religion? And then it's included in the countries.
That's really, really huge. And I think if we move to the next image, it continues. And Hadil, you can tell us what that is.
Yeah, and I think also there was with the report that was released, there was a post specifically, I think, on the YouTube page.
Yeah, a statement by Abu Sadiq. Let's go ahead and read that. There it is. So Abu Sadiq from his piece, he posted this yesterday. I think it was last night. It was just last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It says the United States Commission of International Religious Freedom released its annual report for 2025, and it mentioned the Ahmadi religion of peace and light 5 times. Here is a link to the report, and attached are images of the pages where we are mentioned. This year's report comes after the faith was mentioned in last year's report and documents the increasing persecution in countries like Malaysia, Algeria, and Azerbaijan. The report documents religious freedom conditions in 2024 and recommends policy to the White House, Congress, and State Department to advance freedom of religion or belief abroad. Congress mandated USCIRF's annual report in the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. That's really great news. That's really, really big news.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So we can look into the different instances in the report where we're mentioned, so we can look at the different countries. So we have, one of it, which I think now we have on the screen.
We can put that on the screen as well.
Let's get it up on.
Yeah, we can start with any.
Let's start with Algeria, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the first one on our timeline in general. So let's start with Algeria.
And Algeria is actually where it all started. Yes. So the first mentioning of, the first time the United States Commission adopted the cases of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light was because of Algeria.
Algeria.
Yeah, so here...
Only stands to reason.
I can see the yellow highlighted part that says Ahmadi religion of peace and light right there.
Yes.
Standing out quite clearly.
Yeah. So it says that the government also continued to target members of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light and surveil them through online monitoring and the deployment of plainclothes police. In the past, the government has called the Ahmadi religion of peace and light a misguided group, heretics out of the Islamic faith who should be condemned and punished according to the law. And obviously we can see here they are quoting these terms, they are quoting them from a religious decree that was issued
fatwa that they made.
Exactly.
Right.
So they are here specifically...
we have not forgotten that fatwa.
Yeah.
So, and neither has the USCIRF report.
Exactly.
I guess. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really good. And the fact that it's being brought out in this way and these entities are now discussing it just goes to show that it is a real problem.
Of course.
And it's affecting societies, and bigger entities are now having to get involved. I mean, this is not a small matter.
And it's also significant because the Bijaya case happened in 2022. So now they have been continuing to monitor the persecution, and now even they looked at all the other cases and they followed that from then until now.